Poverty has always been a problem in the Philippines, which is very common in a third world country. It is the cause of several problems that leads to the country's downfall, thus creating a social problem that is very common and very hard to deal with. No possible solution could ever be proposed to a country with poverty problems because it has many roots. It may be poor government of the country, people being greedy, and other several reasons. According to Wikipedia, poverty means the lack of possession and materials to fulfill the people's needs, which is, in this case, very present in the Philippines, especially where the food is lacking. Thousands of people in the streets hunting for scraps and does not even have the luxury to fill their bellies 3 times a
To
day.
avoid this problem, we have a different policy that can bring different outcomes. If the government invests jobs and policies to workers' wage and families' economic security, children and families see improved outcomes in both the short and long term. And here are some steps to cut the poverty. Create jobs, increase the minimum wage, raise the minimum wage, increase the earned income tax credit for childless workers, and support pay equity.
Students interested in taking this course should be prepared to acquire and comprehend the material, as STS is a subject with many roots that are interlinked, requiring critical thinking and openness. Incoming students may expect to study about experience and understanding techniques in scientific fields, and to get hands-on exposure with such methods through experimental studies, math, or engineering. Analyze technology and science as historical practices and social organizations with the ability to explain the ideas, theories, and techniques applied. Enhance personal interest in a technical issue, policy change, or implementation through a thesis or research article. Or seek similar intellectual capacity in a complementary area such as philosophy, history, or anthropology. The most difficult aspect would be a lack of understanding as a result of not reading articles, modules, browsing the internet, and a variety of other sources to learn about the subject. One piece of advice is to devote time to reading or watching about the issue in order to absorb and analyze, as there is a lot of information available on the internet. What I have learned from taking this course is that now I have a better understanding of how the world used to be, such as the topics on the scientific revolution, which have given me a broader view of how things began. Comparing things from before to now has challenged me to enhance my comprehension by emphasizing significant facts, making abstract ideas clearer, and reducing confusion between them. These are only several of the things I have learned and how I have learned them. I have liked studying through this course since it has satisfied and answered all of my interests and questions.
To summarize, poverty is a persistent issue, particularly in third world countries. This is a relative issue that we have faced as a third world country in the Philippines over the years. Some of the causes of poverty in the country include our country's low economic growth, a lack of job employment in the country, and high inflation during crisis. Many people are affected by our country's low employment because not everyone is privileged enough to get a job regardless of the low wages. Furthermore, even though the minimum wage does not rise, there is still inflation, particularly during crisis period. Professionals, on the other hand, are affected by the fact that their salary, regardless of profession, remains low in comparison to working abroad. As a result, this issue has resulted in a serious case of brain drain in the country. Professionals chose to relocate to another country in search of better opportunities. As they leave, our country is affected our economic growth as we slowly run out of professionals. If we don't fix the system now, how will our country be able to develop and comply with the rest of the world in the future if we're already running out of professionals? And how will we counteract poverty if our country lacks opportunities?
In conclusion, one of the biggest problems that the Philippines is facing right now is poverty, and one of the primary reasons why poverty is still relevant in their country is because the government doesn't have any concrete solution on how to end poverty, or they don't execute plans to end poverty well. The Philippines will only overcome poverty if the government official learns how serious poverty is and if the government take measures to end corruption.